Hello everyone and welcome to episode 17 of 6 out of 7 podcast. I'm Liam.
I'm Callum.
Yes, we are back, just two of us this week. Thank you very much to Curtis who joined us last week for our Lord of the Rings episode.
Thanks, Curtis. I have a slight correction on myself.
Oh my god.
Like a bloody idiot, I thought that Council of Elrond was chapter 6.
Oh, he couldn't sleep.
Couldn't
He
sleep.
could
I had
not
to
sleep.
I texted Liam in the hope that he could do some sort of editing magic to somehow make me say the right thing. It's impossible to do. Council of Elrond, book 2, chapter 2. If anyone's looking that up to skip it, that's where they'll find it. Chapter 6, The Old Forest, was cut from the film. It's my mistake.
We got so many comments.
They were furious.
Saying, what an idiot.
We had to delete them all. I was too embarrassed.
Some of them were racial, sexist and homophobic about Callum. So,
all at once.
Yeah, it was a disgrace.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, everyone. It wasn't my intention.
we're fine now. We're moving on. I want to briefly talk about Aladdin. Seen Aladdin at the weekend. It's great.
It's great.
That's all I'll say. It's if you like the Disney magic that is Disney films, then go and see it because it's a lot of fun. And Will Smith looks like he's just having the best time.
Is it better than Beauty and the Beast? Their remake.
Yes, I would say it's funner.
Then I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
What, did you not like it?
I thought it was a bit too gritty and not what Disney's about.
It's not. I would say it's. I don't know if they went for this, but some of it felt like a Bollywood.
Cool.
It's so bright and colourful, and there's a lot of dance bits, and so it's really good and funny and just a lot of fun. Go and watch it if you like Disney.
Great.
What we do in the shadows? Let's briefly talk about that.
Yeah, from Aladdin to what we do in the shadows. We've talked about the third episode. Talked about the show a little bit. The film is doing all the film bits right now.
Yes.
It's doing a lot of the film details. Like the Baron was a bit exactly like the Nosferatu character in the film.
I like that though.
Yeah, and then this werewolf bit is a lot like the werewolf bit in the film.
I expected what's his name, Murray from Flight of the Conchords, that's in the film as a werewolf to come up, but I don't know why he wasn't in it.
Because he's in New Zealand. I think it would be good if there was a whole world that they were talking about and those characters actually existed, and they weren't.
Is the film set in New Zealand?
Yeah, the film is like them hanging out.
Oh right,
in New
okay.
Zealand,
I thought it was America.
Nah, could be wrong again. This could be Council of Elrond all again.
We'll correct each other next week. Episode 18.
All write in and save us the bloody time.
Bloody
is the best bit. I love her saying bloody. I'd listen to her say bloody all the time.
She's great. She's a good character. I liked the 4th episode more than the 3rd with the werewolves. It
100%.
felt like the third one was a bit filler-ish. And the 4th one carried on what's the girl from Booksmart called?
Beanie Feldstein.
It carried on her plot.
Yeah.
Which I am enjoying, but then it didn't really go into it. I liked the emotional vampire stuff. I thought that little storyline was funny.
Yeah.
But it's still good, but I thought those 2 episodes were weaker than the first 2.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think I really I loved the nightclub and that whole sequence was really funny.
The hat,
the witch hat with the anus in it. Good. More of that.
It was cursed. It was a cursed hat. The bloody cursed hat.
You keep taking it everywhere. Anyway, I'm not going to go on. Watch it. Don't listen to me repeat it. Watch it.
Yeah, it's good. I like that. The tone of it. He does some of it is creepy.
Yeah.
But also
How do they do that thing where sometimes their eyes turn to vampiric eyes and sometimes they're normal?
No, that really happens.
Oh,
that was.
It's not like they're quickly stuffing lenses into.
No, they had to do that.
They had to actually become vampires.
Yeah, the actors had to do that, or else they couldn't get the part.
Right.
That's how they've done it. Let's move on.
We're going.
Oh yeah, we should probably say what we're doing in this episode. So, well, it says in the title.
For those of you that can't read,
which is
and have somehow managed to make it to YouTube,
which is some people.
Well done for doing that.
Well, if you hit Y and enter.
Yeah, but how do you know what a Y is if you can't read?
It's good questions. It's all good questions. Symbols. How did Egyptians read?
They did read as well.
Let's not get into Egyptians.
Yeah, different topic altogether.
It's albums this week. So I've got my 5. I couldn't even say they're my 5 favourite because
this is the problem.
Yeah, I kept swapping ones in and out, but I would say this is close to my 5 faves.
Yeah, because when you said this, I thought you said greatest albums, and that really gave me
greatest albums.
Yeah, the 5 greatest albums, and I was like, Jesus, I can't do that. What a proposition.
Well, this is obviously subjective.
Greatest to us.
Yeah, it's everything in this podcast. It's just 2 idiots' opinion.
Yeah.
In Glasgow,
and it's going unchallenged.
Yeah.
I love it. We just put it on the internet, and no one is.
50 people are like, yeah,
100% all the time. Just resounding silence.
Yeah, someone from my that sounds weird, ominous. Someone from my past.
Yeah, like you're in a film.
A person I've not seen in years messaged me yesterday and was just like, "Your podcast is okay.
We like it when people do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like praise.
Yeah, do that.
Also, message me and say, like, I hate your crap.
Just give us like a hint on how to be better.
Yeah.
Don't just say it's crap. Be like, I would prefer it if this happened.
Yeah, we're going to do a meet and greet.
Are you really? Why are you saying things, man? What's your first album?
I don't know, I'm all hyper. I don't know.
You're excitable. We're going to watch a film today. That's good.
Look smart.
Looking forward
2
to
o'clock showing.
Beanie. It's going to be great.
Loveless
Loveless.
by My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
You a fan?
Not really, no.
Oh, what do you mean?
I don't know of them. Not
Oh
like.
my God.
Tell me about that.
So it's like the pinnacle shoegaze album. That's the most wanky sentence I've ever said in my life. But
This is the tone we're heading.
it's from it's from 1981.
Uh-huh.
It's like Creation or just before Oasis, I'm guessing.
Right.
And they dropped like Creation Records.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Alan McGee actually dropped the band after it. Took 2 years to make, and they went through 19 different studios and tons of different engineers.
Notes.
I got notes. I got facts.
That's so good.
I think Kevin. So in the band, it's Kevin. He's he's kind of the songwriter, the guitarist, and it's really hard to have a reference if you don't know what it sounds like.
Yeah, we can't play it. We're not playing anything.
We'll make a playlist, I think, of like best things. But I think a lot of people listening will
I've heard of
Loveless at least. But Kevin Shields is kind of he's the songwriter, the guitarist, lead vocalist, and Belinda Butcher, she's the guitarist and backing singer. She sings some lead, and then you've got, I don't know the bassist name, I have it written down, Debbie, who's the bassist, and then Com, who's the drummer. And Kevin was kind of, they would go into studios and they would just kind of record, and they'd be behind like a curtain, and he'd say to the engineer, like, that's a good take, like, just stop it there. So there wasn't any sort of real like
communication.
Yeah, they would play, and the studio engineer would kind of be there to record.
Right.
There wasn't any sort of like, why don't you do it like this? It's an insane sounding album. It's like he basically like reinvented the guitar sound. There's so much of it that you can't tell if it's a guitar or a keyboard playing. The lyrics don't really matter in the album because they're so.
Yeah, this is what I'd like to hear a bit.
Yeah,
as
I know.
we're doing it, but
I know.
I'm aware of your reasoning. Yeah, and I accept it.
It's like they're so low in the mix as per like most shoegaze stuff, so it doesn't really matter what they're saying. It's more like the melody that's important, and obviously what the guitar's doing.
How did you find it? Like, what was the story there?
A lot of like shoegaze bands and stuff like that I got from more modern bands like the Horrors, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Like from Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, I got into Jesus Mary Chain. From the Horrors, I got into like My Bloody Valentine and Ride and stuff like that. Like a lot of like 90s shoegaze bands, but it's a beautiful album. Like from like start to finish. Like there's obviously a few stuff. There's a song called Touched that's just an instrumental, but it's Colm, the drummer, who like it's all sequences and programmed and stuff like that, and it kind of breaks up the album a little, but I think it's this sounds so wanky, but it's like the closest thing to just like being on drugs is to like sit and listen to it just like in a dark room. Like it's like incredible. It's just got such a nice feeling to
the feeling of being on drugs.
Yeah, like to Hear Knows When is fourth song in the album, and it's just got this. It's incredibly beautiful, and it's just got this like, I don't know, it's like a bubbly feeling to it. Obviously, it's going to feel different to everyone else.
Yeah.
I'll play some in the car.
I'm looking forward to hearing this. That's a new thing. That's cool. But how old were you?
I don't know. Like when I got into some like
teenagers.
No, like I probably 18 or something like that.
That's teenager.
Yeah, but not like super young, you know. Right. I remember coming in from just being pure hammered, coming in and listening to it. It's a song called, just when I was getting into them, so I was listening to like single songs on YouTube, and it was called Come In Alone. It's track 8 on the album, and I had just my headphones on, and I just remember like crying.
Wow.
Just, it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, and
that's the best bit of the night, right? Like I think there's some things you come home and you're like, I actually had the best time of the night after I met everyone, after I did all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Just being like loaded and listening to My Bloody Valentine. Like I would say that's Come In Alone or To Hear Knows When, or my favourites on the album. But again, like it's hard to reference that without actually hearing it, because it's not like, you can't be like, oh, the chorus is really catchy, because it's not, the album's not really like that. There's no verse and chorus. But yeah, that's my first one.
I'm not going to have as much of the detail of that. Mine's much more going to be, because you studied music, like you've got the, like you said, bubbly, and like that implied something that I was sort of I was just listening, sitting, imagining you listen to Bubbles, right? Because I lack the language, I lack that sensitivity. I've gone for OK Computer 997. I'm going in the list in a funny order. just because I'm deciding to do that. He can read my list, he can see it, but you can't, because you can't read apparently. 1997, OK Computer. Radiohead, big fan. It was a choice between OK Computer or In Rainbows. I like them both a lot. OK Computer is, I think, the one that people say is the better one. It's the one that's like of significant cultural importance, blah, 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 blah. I liked it. I remember at school, 13, 14, my English teacher, Mr. Laverty, had it on he had a poster of it on his wall, and he was like, you know, that cool, but only cool to like teenagers. Like, he was not cool among his own peers. It was cool to us. And he was like, OK Computer is one of the greatest things that have been made. Listen to it. And we were all kind of like, oh, all right. No one else went and did it. I think I did. A few of us did, I think. And just, I remember being totally like, this is exactly, he's saying my feelings. Like, I feel like it's all about alienation, being a bit lost, and the world not making sense. And there's just enough sort of political, there's a political dimension to it, but it's not super well informed or like super about anything relevant to the 90s or indeed the 2000s that I lived in. Loved it, really enjoy it. Had a poster, the pig in Occasional Antibiotics. That's track. It was sung by Mac Fred, not Microsoft Sam. That's a fact. It's the one that's
like more productive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happier.
There you go. Don't need your phone.
I almost didn't.
Don't need your phone.
I'm gonna bring my phone in. It's gonna come in at some point because you've got all these details about like how it was made.
That's because
like,
I do research. Look at all my notes. That's just one album.
That's one album. That's tremendous. Yeah. I'm pleased that you've got that.
I don't get paid for this.
You don't. Do you like Radiohead?
I like OK Computer. I think that's like, because it's more of a rocky album.
Yes.
There's more
Airbag, and some of them are slower, but there's
Airbag's great. Paranoid Android is like probably
Karma Police.
This fucking incredible song. I
yeah.
remember watching that, and it was like the best of Jules Holland, and that's the first time I heard that song.
Oh right.
Because my dad was like into them, but you know that way when you're younger, you're like,
I don't listen to what my dad likes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But my dad actually had he was listening to Talking Heads and stuff like that, and I was like, not so great. But now I'm like, yeah, Talking Heads are pretty good, and the Smiths and stuff. Anyway, but yeah, Paranoid Android is probably my favourite track on the album. What's yours?
Yeah, Karma Police maybe. Airbag. It's hard to say. I think the rocky stuff is probably fair, because In Rainbows is a lot more electronic, and but I really what I loved about that album was that they released it online, and you could pay between £0 and like £500, something £99, and I paid like £1, and I felt like I was contributing to the system.
Yeah, well, I
really enjoyed that.
Has that been done again?
Probably. Like, let's be honest, nothing is original, but
everything's free nowadays.
Yeah, it's all streaming. Like the whole concept of albums is so confused. I think like when's the last time you listened to an album all the way through? I try and do it. I try and listen to albums all the way through a lot, but in the streaming world, it's all about streams.
I think
there's water everywhere.
Spotify is good for that though, because unless you search a song, then you can find that one song. But usually I'm finding the song in an album, like Tame Impala. Yeah.
Oh, that was a thing. We passed things over.
I was and we were together, and Callum put on a song, and I was like, oh, what is this? And I listened to like the whole album. I think it's a bit hippies in the studio.
It's very like, we want to be in the psychedelics.
Yeah, like, oh, what does this effect sound like? I think some of the album is, I don't know what album that's from. Feels like we're
going backwards. It's oh mate, it's like we know nothing about music.
Anyway, but that song's really great. But what are we even talking about?
Talking about Radiohead.
Yeah, Spotify I think is a good thing overall. Obviously it's shit for artists getting money. Just go out and buy their album or see them live if you really want to give them money.
Tame Impala are really good live as well. I'll say that they recreate that sound pretty like impressively, I'll say. But yes,
but it's good. I think you're getting a lot of exposure because people are listening to albums that we never listened to.
No one listens to them. It's called Lonerism.
There you go. Lonerism.
It's good, man. Johnny Marr's a big fan. What's your next album? Or I can talk about Rainbow some more, because it was a choice.
Go for it.
I'm struggling.
Yeah,
I really like. That was sort of as the dawn of YouTube and YouTube videos for me. I started there's a song again. Research, but the video is House of Cards, and it's filmed. It's his face. It's Tom York's face being like there's some electro sound imaging thing being used, and it's been done before, I'm sure. But House of Cards, and he's singing it, and you can see the music kind of hitting his face, or like it's a very strange visual effect. I remember this was again like coming in from night out, watching it, and just being like, what am I looking at? And just when you think of these creative people, it's just like complete gods, but like that was one of those like, God, you're so fantastic.
Their videos are always pretty good.
They are.
Always pretty interesting.
But the 15 step from that album as well, they had like a competition, and you could watch all these videos. People that made animated videos or like illustration stuff for 15 step, and I listened to 15 step maybe like 30 times and watched all these entries. It was really cool.
There you go.
Really, like I enjoyed the way that they interact with their audience.
Yeah.
Particularly, I saw them in Berlin, and they were like very into sort of the interaction as well, which is weird for them, I thought.
Yeah, you would think they'd be like recluses. I think Johnny Greenwood is like a big part of that band, his guitar sound, and I don't know how much of it. I assume Tom York writes the bulk of it, but
You'd think so.
I think he has an OK Computer, especially like the guitar sound, because it really adds a lot to it. I'm not saying without him it wouldn't be the great album it is, but yeah, it is very guitar led.
Yeah. I love it. I want more. Like I want them to keep doing it. I know that they've got their own projects. They're all doing their own things. Yeah. Like he's doing films now. He's like,
well, that's what I was going to say. You were never really here. He's on the music to that, and then the drummer released. He's got a solo career.
They're all doing their own.
No one wants to hear from the drummer
ever. Is that like a rule?
It's like when the Killers broke up and everyone was like, the drummer's going solo. And like, and now they're back together.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah,
good for them.
I do my second.
Please carry on.
Velvet Underground and Nico.
This is the one I thought you'd have.
You're a fan?
I was in your house. I've been in your house before, and then came out the record, and you were like, "Don't take the banana off."
Yeah.
Like, people do that. I can't believe people do that.
Well, this is a thing with the album. This is why from 1967, Velvet Underground, Nico. It's classic. This is their debut album. This is when they had a lot to do with Andy Warhol and that sort of scene in New York City, and the artwork. Everyone in the world has seen it.
You're gonna put it on video.
Yeah, I'll put it on, but obviously everyone.
So when I say don't take the banana off, you'll know the banana to which I reference.
But this is why it was so delayed, because it says it's like a piece of art basically, and it says peel slowly and see, and it's a big yellow banana. You can peel that off, and underneath it it's a pink banana, like a penis. Ha ha ha.
Is it supposed to be like a
penis? I think so. Yeah, right. I think so.
Oh, Andy.
I know he's a dirty man.
He is a dirty man.
It was delayed because there was these machines that they had that they needed to make every album, so that's why it was so delayed coming out. On. Yeah, but I have a repress from like the early 2000s, and it's got
the banana.
Peel slowly and see. At parties, people used to take it off, and it's quite hard to like get back on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
people
like,
take off at your part or that banana.
They'd be like, "Oh my god, it comes off," and I'm like, "Don't
fucking do that.
Touch that."
I was just looking at it. I was like, "Oh, look at that! That's pretty cool." I was looking at the imprint and stuff, and you were like, "Don't take the banana off immediately." Like that's the first thing I'd do. Like I'll show you a trick.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
We watched that film, Nico 90.
I quite liked it. Yeah. I quite liked it. The best parts for me were when she played, because that leads me on to the sound of the album. So obviously Nico, it's not, people think that they're called the Velvet Underground and Nico, that's the name of the album. But she's a big part of the album. She sings solo on a couple of songs, but she also does a lot of backing vocals on it. But the sound of the album is very it doesn't sound like anything else they done. Like every album sounds quite different, apart from maybe their later ones, which are a bit more poppy, bit of pop rock in there. But there's a lot of like John Cale doing drones, so he plays the viola, but he would put guitar strings or mandolin strings. Is that what it's called? Mandolin?
Is that like a small guitar?
Yeah, the
I'm familiar. It's like a banjo, only not a banjo.
Not really. Because there'll be mandolin players listen. And
it's wooden.
Yes. He would put those strings on his viola, and it would give it a really like deep, like distorted sound. Like most of the album has, not most of it, but the songs that feature it, there's just this really like solid drone going throughout it.
To simulate what it's like to be on heroin, do you think?
I don't know what they were really going for with the drones, but it sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Like Venus and Furs. Do you know that song?
Yes. Yeah, like we share this.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm trying to let you listen. I'm trying to let you speak, because in the Tolkien episode, which we vowed never to mention again.
Why?
I overdid it, man. I felt like I overdid it. I felt like it was too much.
Mean?
I need to be set to receive rather than transmit.
I disagree. I disagree.
Set to receive. I love it. Like I when we discovered this shared interest, I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Let's talk about this. And I was like, God, I'm out of my league, man. He like really likes Velvet Underground, which I love, which I really love.
One of my
T-shirt.
I got a few, but them and the Beatles always be my favourites. But the album's like a mix between quite poppy but dark as well. Pop songs like Sunday Morning. Femme Fatale, which Nico sings, I'll Be Your Mirror. They're all really like, that's really nice, but if you actually like listen to them, they're quite, like people are quite shit.
Yeah. Life is a bit sad.
And so it goes between that kind of dark but poppy sounding stuff to like fucking wild like art rock. Do you know what I mean? Like European Sun starts off. It's got two verses, and then it just like there's this noise. I think it's a cart going down an elevator shaft that they recorded, and then it just goes into like a jam. But Lou Reed's obviously like Lou Reed and John Cale are like the driving force in the album, and John Cale done another album, White Light White Heat, and then he was just like, this is not for me, like I'm going to do my own thing. But it's really, really great album. I think my favourite song is I'll Be Your Mirror on it, just because it's a nice little
this is intense, yeah,
happy number.
That'll be on the playlist.
Yes, 100%. And I'm not a big fan of I'm Waiting for the Man.
Oh,
because I don't like the piano.
Okay.
Through it.
So question, right?
Tell me.
You know, I'm Waiting for My Man, right? Is the Pixies song a reference to that?
I don't know.
Because it's not very similar in sound or tame.
I assume they're a big fan.
Tonality.
I would assume they're a big fan, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think people have told me that with like such authority. Like like that is about that. Like it's a back and forth, and I didn't get it. Like I think that your man is like a famous phrase. It's
research.
Like, I should have some.
No, I'm not saying that, but I mean like Wikipedia will tell you.
I'm sure someone on Wikipedia has written it though. Is the thing. I want to know like from something deeper, a deeper truth. Like you were chatting to Lou Reed, and you found out.
Can't now. R.I.P. Lou Reed.
R.I.P. Lou Reed.
Do your second.
Oh God, second. I've just written like so. What Liam's done is work. I've just written loads of albums that occurred to me. I will do Pulp, Different Class, 1995.
What's on that?
Big fan of Pulp. That's like it's the big ones because like People, Misshapes, Disco 2000, like all of those big ones, like the big sort of their anthem themes and their sort of primary concerns are covered.
Right, okay.
Like sexual politics, being young, having like unhappy, angry sex and all this stuff, and like class issues, all these things.
Big fan. When did you get into them?
When did I get into them? Sort of early mid-teens, probably again via YouTube, almost definitely via YouTube. I love the way Jarvis Cocker dances. He's a very he dances in a very sarcastic way. I think actually, I remember Harry Potter. This is a film podcast sometimes. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire he's the dance like a hippogriff.
It's pretty cringy.
I just discovered him before that, and I really did I was like, oh, I know him. Like it was like I know him before this, and it was quite a good sensation. But this album, if I was like, it's not one of the greatest albums ever made. I really like it. Common People I could recite to you by rote right now, but I won't. Misshapes I probably could as well.
Yeah.
I won't. I like the concerns of just that feeling, that bit of being young and being like a bit on the outside of it, of things that like something fun is happening somewhere, but I'm just not in there having that fun. And actually, I don't want to have that fun, and then I'll listen to this album instead. It's good, man.
Speaks
You're
to you.
a fan of Pulp?
Yeah, I like the hits. Another one my dad was into.
Really?
The Hits.
They've got the hits. Yeah, they've got an album called The Hits.
But yeah, another one that like I kind of heard in passing. Like I know I like Babies.
Yeah. I like Jarvis Cocker solo stuff as well. Like, and when they reformed, that's how I follow it.
What was that song? Don't Let Them Waste Your Time.
That's from Jarvis Cocker's solo album Jarvis. Yeah. Fat Children. I actually might ask that to go on the playlist because Fat Children is so good. I like Fat Children a lot.
That could be taken out of context.
I mean, you could be fat or thin if you want.
Are these lyrics?
Regardless of that, we'll move on. I just Pulp are a big band. Sheffield, that's something. I think artists coming from Sheffield.
Yeah.
Pulp were like part of that, and I like it, and I'm into it, and I like the way his voice sounds.
Still going.
Still going. Yeah. I think they toured recently. Not so long ago. They're cool. They're up there for me. They're top 5. This is hard, struggling.
Well, it's hard not to.
I just started scrolling down, and it's up there. It's in the top 5 of the ones that I've scrolled down. So it's got to be a top 5.
I thought that said Little Mix.
Little Mix. No, that says Little Sims.
Okay, well
that's for later.
We'll get there.
We don't have to.
Will I do my third?
Please, and do it at great length.
Okay.
I want to hear because this podcast will be very short if it's me.
No, it's we're getting there. So Abbey Road by the Beatles.
Yes.
The Beatles obviously had to be in there.
I thought you would have gone with. I said to my flatmates you would have gone with Sgt. Pepper.
Sgt. Pepper's a weird one because I think there's quite a lot of downtime on the album. It's got amazing highs, but it's got quite steep lows as well. But anyway, we're not talking about that.
Yeah, that's my guess was wrong.
Abbey Road, so 1969. It was the second last album that was released by them, but Let It Be was after it, but Let It Be was recorded. But I don't know if you've ever seen it. There's a documentary of them recording Let It Be, the album, and it's them sitting in a warehouse, like miserable, arguing with each other.
Oh no!
It's a good documentary, but Let It Be is, it's not the best album. It's like it feels a lot of like they're rehashing old ideas.
Let It Be occurred to him in a dream, right? That's the story. Paul McCartney was like having a weird dream, and someone was telling him Let It Be. I forget who.
Oh, like the song.
Yeah, the song Let It Be.
It's a great song.
It's a really good song, and it's great that it occurred to him in a dream. If that's true.
Yeah, it's incredible. But here's a thing that
trivial fact
I had that about me. I
like the personal story.
I was like, okay, it was because we were in somewhere the other day, and Radioactive by that band.
Oh my god! What are they called? Code? No, Imagine Dragons.
Yes, and
I love they've made it into the podcast.
They were on like a YouTube advert that was playing before a YouTube video, and I was like either like hungover or something else, and it was playing, and I thought that I dreamt that song, and I woke up and I was like, I could write this song. And then I like played a YouTube video. Yeah, and I was like,
that's
what?
awesome.
They've stolen my song, but I was like, like
that's where it
I didn't write that song.
It came into my brain. Yeah, I mean, I think you're capable of creating something much better than that.
It's a catchy hook.
Yeah, but that's about all it is.
The guy I was in a band with, I used to be in a band with, he used to be like, I dreamt this song, and it was like, fuck man, that's quite good. That's impressive.
It's where the creative mind is sort of most unleashed.
He was drunk a lot of the time, but I think as well. Yeah, it probably did. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's basically McCartney phoned up George Martin and was like, I want to do an album the way we used to do it, and George Martin was like, I'll only work with you guys again if it's how we used to be, like we're all in a studio, we're all together,
right.
We're all happy, and they all agreed to it. I think Yoko was still there. She was unwell at the time, I can't remember what was wrong with her, and John Lennon built like a bed for her so she could be
himself, or he had someone build a bed.
Well, yeah, she'd done nothing like himself. So yeah, I think there was still quite a lot of tension with that, because the Beatles were always like, no wives, no one else.
Yeah,
5 guys, because George Martin's the 5th Beatle. It's incredible how much Google how much he put into the Beatles. It's incredible. Yeah, there was still a lot of tension, but it's an incredible album. I'd say it's more of like a bluesy sound than their earlier stuff. There's just a lot of good stuff on it. There's a lot of like songs that like go into one another.
Yeah.
Harrison's Something, which is probably one of his best songs with the Beatles. You've got Octopus's Garden by Ringo, which is probably one of their worst.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know, like, I just can't imagine being like someone at Apple and like getting like one of the first presses of it, the test press, and listening to it, and then getting to Octopus's Garden and being like, what the fuck?
Where does this fit? Yeah, where does this fit?
It's like children's party. I don't know, but it's
just like when you give someone their own reign, they want to be like, I want to make my stamp on the album, I suppose.
Yeah, you can't really knock it because good on him. But I mean, on the White Album, he does.
He'll be the last living Beatle.
Yeah, he still looks great.
Yeah,
I was watching an interview with him, but he's like 80 something. He looks 50.
Yeah,
it's incredible. It must be all the peace he does.
I'm going on my phone.
No, give me a second.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that to you, man. I'm doing this for my own sanity.
Don't pass me by.
Don't pass me
on
by.
the White Album.
Well
and that's really good. That's like
you arrived at that so quickly.
Yeah,
well done.
That's like a solid song from Ringo. But I think my favourite on it is Here Comes the Sun's really, really good by Harrison, obviously.
They keep covering that. The world keeps covering that, and I keep hearing it in so many different ways, and it's like, stop it.
His family will get it. His son needs it. He's quite a terrible musician.
Oh no. Oh no.
But
oh dear.
Mean Mr. Mustard is like the first song that goes into Polythene Pan, and she came in through the bathroom window, and that is amazing. Yeah. It's so ahead of its time, and it's this little.
What is 69? You say?
Yeah, 1969.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
and it's just this little amazing little 90-second, like the bass line, it's fantastic, and it's just got such a nice melody, and obviously it's got the end. It's got like all the songs leading into that, Golden Slumbers, and to Carry That Weight into the end, which you probably, I don't know if you familiar with Abbey Road, but you'll if I played it, you'd be like, oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
The only negatives are, well, I don't really like Maxwell's Silverhammer.
I haven't heard that. It strikes me.
Paul at his like grand rock most, if you know what I mean. Like it's quite like old lady rock.
Love a bit of old lady rock.
And Octopus's Garden, but apart from that, it's like a stellar
all the way through.
And you need to have the Beatles on your top 5 albums. I'm afraid.
I think you do. It's probably a rule somewhere.
My last two are a bit more obscure, but yeah, Abbey Road.
I will heartily agree. Love it. It's a good album. But I thought it'd be Sergeant Pepper. I feel that's the big one, isn't it? It's the one like.
I don't know. I think if you had like Beatles for Sale, I think people would more be like, why? But if you had Sergeant Pepper's or a White Album or Abbey Road,
Revolver.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or
because that was only going to be on this list. It's somewhere. I've scrolled it somewhere down here.
Revolver is incredible.
I'm glad the Beatles have got represented.
Yeah.
And that's
absolutely.
They've come in strong with Abbey Road.
Yeah.
They don't need any more screen time from us or airtime. What are we? Are we airtime? We're airtime.
Yeah. I listened to a podcast today and they said on air and I was like, that sounds so weird, but yeah.
We say air all the time, let's be honest.
Off air,
on air.
Anywhere. Do your third.
So I'm jumping 2 years from there, Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust.
Oh my god.
1971.
Yeah.
This is like the first thing I wrote down because first thing I wrote down because I was confused, greatest, favourite, and I was like, this is where greatest and favourite do coalesce. Like everyone agrees that Rise and Fall is like one of the best pieces of creative medium out there, right? But I also personally love it, and I've discussed. And if I encountered, which I'm sure I didn't, if I encountered it not knowing that it was this great thing, I'd have been like, this is amazing.
Yeah, why don't people like this?
This I've discovered.
Yeah, has anyone heard this?
Album? It's one that we had as a I'd listened to all the way through and like had that like we'd all sit there and be like, this is fantastic, and I really like the narrative. Apparently, right, the narrative of Ziggy Stardust was written much up like after they wrote the song. Like Hunky Dory and this were made pretty much back to back, and then there are some tracks that were going to be on one and on the other, blah 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 blah. So the whole sort of the bisexual alien from Mars, it's happened afterwards, and they sort of built that character and it controlled his life and all that stuff happened much up. So the recording of it was just like, we're just doing another album. Starman was apparently written in like 10 minutes. He was like just trying to write like all the space oddity stuff. This is something I know about because I'm a big fan.
Yeah, sure.
I can talk about this for a bit longer, but if
you want, the podcast.
I just feel like my notes are always less than, but in this one, this is just my.
You're the personality.
Fuck off.
That's what I've been told.
Fuck right off. I'm not your dancing monkey. I know things about Ziggy Stardust. He's and sexual. My dad was at the last ever gig. I think lots of people say they were, right? The Hammer
Was
Street.
your dad actually though?
Like I reckon he was at one of them, but he might have been at the last one. Dad, write in, let me know.
Does your dad listen?
I'm calling you out. I think he does sometimes.
Yeah.
He's been known to listen.
Good.
He liked the soundtrack one, so this will probably be again up his street.
Music. He likes a bit of music.
And Dad is a big introduced me to Bowie. But Bowie, what do you reckon?
Either or.
I go Bowie, but
David Bowie, I would say.
Right, there we go.
Bowie.
Maybe it's a north-south thing. Anyway, I just really like it. I remember being in a bar in Dublin just after Trump had been nominated as presidential candidate, and 5 years came on.
Not political.
We need to avoid. We're an apolitical podcast. Trump, take him or leave him. It came on. 5 years came on, and I was like, "Fuck me, this is." And like the news, it was like the news was muted on the bar, and then it was sort of Trump doing whatever, and then 5 years. We got 5 years. Newsman wept when he told us. I was like, "Fuck it, this is intense."
Did anyone else in the bar get?
Everyone was just getting drunk. Everyone was just getting drunk.
Cared.
It was just me sitting in this, just having this moment,
just thinking about it.
And I went home. I listened to the album, and like he died while I was in Dublin as well.
Holy shit!
Yeah, Bowie, not Trump.
No, he's still going.
Still going strong.
Unless you're listening to this in the
future. Imagine a world. But anyway, that was really that. Like, when he died, did you feel like a bit weird? Did you have like a funny?
No, because I love that, but I've never been super into him.
Yeah, I think this is something I imbibed from my dad, because I remember ringing at my dad and speaking to him. We were both like, it's so bizarre. That's what I imagine people feel like when the Queen dies. Like, there are people who will be like properly fucking distraught. I wasn't properly distraught, but I felt really funny for like a week. It was odd. Celebrity
deaths, I always think. I remember being at a party and hearing that Michael Jackson had died and being quite like, I prefer, even with all the weird sex stuff.
He's
like,
not on my list.
Is it okay listening to Michael Jackson again?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't want to put him on my list.
I remember being at a party and hearing that and being like, I'll always remember that. You know, like that was even though I didn't really like. As I said, I much prefer him now because he's got some great albums. But
I was going into a history exam.
Did they stop the exam?
No, got to pause the exam because you can hear this, can't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Callum loves coffee.
Keeps me going. Keeps me at this high energy level with my words.
And I remember hearing Dimebag Darrell was shot on stage from Pantera, the guitarist. He wasn't playing with Pantera at the time because my brother was a huge fan.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing Lou Reed had died, and that Lou Reed's probably like the biggest. He's an old man.
But you were like,
yeah,
this is rough. I think it was a kind of like, I'm not going to meet him thing.
Yeah.
Like that is
I'm not going to get to see
personal
him.
like it's selfish, really.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck, that's like rough. He's gone.
It's good that Bowie or Bowie
Say it however you want.
had
Tolkien,
like had a better, because he done, what was it, Black Star?
Black, just before he died. Yeah,
He done that, which is a quite good, I think.
It's really good.
Whereas Lou Reed done Lulu with Metallica, which is like a fucking disgrace. So it's a shame, you know.
He had a. I mean, I don't know. I think collaboration. David Bowie's not really like an enormous collaborator.
I'm doing my thing.
So you got to respect Lou Reed's.
What's your favourite song on?
Starman's probably up there, but 5 years. I don't know. What's yours? Have you got?
I like 5 years.
Rock and Roll Suicide. That's too hard. I'm gonna say Rock and Roll Suicide. Rock and Roll Suicide. I'll say that.
It's like, oh, this is a
time takes a cigarette, puts it in your mouth.
I like the second album. This second track. What's it?
I'll bring it up for you because you've written them down. This is my notepad. This is my notepad.
Phone.
My phone. Just
that's the one we're living in now.
Just hold on. It is. I'm sorry, guys.
Sick.
It saves the paper though.
Let's move on.
Go on. No,
actually, we can just pause and
like when you discovered it. When you heard about it, what's your personal connection to this album?
I just loved it. I just thought it was like a really, really good. That's when
Soul Love is the second.
Soul Love, yeah. When you're younger, you're like, nah, you can't like. I was anyway. I was like, you can't like pop music, and I think that's why like a lot of like Michael Jackson and the Beatles and stuff. Because I got into the Beatles super late.
Yeah.
I was like 18, 19, and I liked the Velvet Underground, and I was like, yeah, but have you heard the Velvet Underground? You know?
Yeah. Or then the Stones. People really like the Stones. I didn't realize the Stones and the Beatles had like this opposition.
I don't think they really did.
I think that's something that people have manufactured.
The Beatles wrote songs for them.
Yeah.
You know. So, but I think when you're younger, you're like you kind of get rid of like listening to pop music a little bit, and then when you're older you come into it and you're like, actually my favourite section in HMV is pop rock.
Yeah,
that's where all the good stuff is.
Rock.
Yeah, it's the best bit.
You can't find an HMV nowadays. It's too hard, too difficult to find one.
Because they're all shut down.
They're all closing. They're all gone.
The one in Braehead's still there.
I need to go have a browse. I haven't had a browse for CD in a long time.
I'll take you.
Because like the album thing, I don't listen to albums like that anymore, and I miss those days.
Yeah,
like lending you CDs was like I was like, God, I remember doing this.
But Spotify, man.
I've been given a mixtape. Remember them?
Yeah,
I remember those mixtapes.
Yeah, they were good.
How about that? Playlists, dull, boring. What's your third one? Fourth one?
Marquee Moon.
By
Television. I told you it was coming.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it. Tell me about Television.
Yeah. Right. So, have you ever heard Television?
Describe it to me using adjectives.
Right. No, I'm not going to do that. 1977 New York. What a time to be alive. See, if people are like, if you could go back and live in some time, where would you live? And you know, people would be like, when Jesus
what is that
was
voice?
about. That's like my nerd voice.
When Jesus was about.
When he was, you know what I mean? Or like, yeah, go and meet William Wallace or something like that. No, 1977 New York.
Right.
Go to CBGB, see like Blondie.
He's got a Blondie shirt on.
See like the Ramones, see Television, Patti Smith.
Yeah, are the Ramones on your list? No.
No, like they just
didn't make the cut.
Just didn't, yeah, because right, we'll go on at the end.
About Television.
We'll do honourable mentions, but 1977 New York, it'd be a horrible place, like the Bowery and stuff like that. It'd be a fucking. I'd probably get stabbed.
No, you're Scottish. You'll get like that. You'd be appreciated as a hard man just by talking. Hello, and everyone would be like, "Whoa, watch out for him."
But what a time, like, to go. The Dead Boys, just the start of, well, not really, the second wave of punk, I suppose. But so Television, big New York band, 1977 released their debut album. It's post punk, so instead of like, it's really riff heavy, but it's still got this, and there's a song on Marquee Moon. It's 10 minutes long, probably about 4 minutes of that is a guitar solo, really intricate playing, but it's also got a really raw, like, punk sound.
Something you would love to have seen live.
No, just
well,
like,
you want to travel back in time though. You don't want to travel back in time and buy the CD, buy the record.
I'm talking about the album now.
Sorry, I like the time travelling thing.
No, like, I would, like, when people say that, I'm like, I would like to go to 1977. But I'm talking about the album now.
Carry on.
But it's got this, all throughout the album, it's got a really, like, rough sound to it, but also really technical playing. It's got a really nice rhythm section. Richard Hell, who, he left the band, he went on to kind of form his own solo career, but they kicked him out because he was quite shit, I think, or they've never really said that, like, why they kicked him out, but I don't think they would play his songs as well, which didn't help. Yeah, they like got a really solid rhythm section. It's just like they like fit so well together, and the guitar playing is excellent throughout it. The only like weak part of it is his voice. Tom Verlaine, what you say, is how you say his surname, is quite. I could imagine why someone would be like, "Oh, that's brutal," because it's a bit grating.
Yeah.
I would say, but his lyrics are like fucking.
Have you ever sung in a band?
No.
Would you ever?
Fucked. Nah.
Would you ever write?
Yeah, like when you're younger, everyone writes songs, don't they? That's kind of into music, but it's always just like, just lame.
But like writing songs in 1977, it would be like, yeah.
But
Creed, Bob, like
he moved to New York to right. When I read this sentence on Wikipedia, I was like, can you ever imagine doing this now? He moved to New York to try and become a poet, like do that as a work. You imagine that now?
I want to do that.
No, but do you, like, if you said that to me, I'm going to move to New York to become a I would be like, you're what? That's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
You couldn't do that now.
Yeah, that's where all the best poets were found, I guess, would be the idea.
I suppose, yeah.
But you know, I don't know. I feel like that's place has been removed from that now. Artistic creation can be put on the internet, and you can be discovered from your bedroom.
That is
like us.
That's the way to. Yeah, definitely.
We've been discovered by 50 people.
People are loving it, but
no, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
We got disliked, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't.
I was told we had, but we didn't.
Okay, carry on.
The album's really good. There's only 8 songs on it, but
which would you recommend?
Right, Marquee Moon is 10 minutes long, right, and it's the one with like the 2 solos that probably take up about 4 minutes of the thing. But if you don't like that, you're not going to like the rest of the album.
Yeah,
so I would say
that's what I'll start with then.
Go in solid to that. It's got a song called Torn Curtain, which is the last song, which is probably the weakest. It's just a bit moany.
How do you close out an album like that? Like those albums, they are sort of like energy, and then like, oh, now we're done. Like, how do you do that?
That's how it's obviously like it's. When it was released, it was on vinyl, and it's like side A and side B, and side A is quite like fast, and there's only like one. It's like 100 miles an hour all throughout it, and then it goes on to side B, Elevation, Guiding Light, Prove It, Torn Curtain. There's different stuff in there. Like Guiding Light is like this kind of like lovely wee love song. It's like 5 minutes, but it's like a lovely love song. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Prove It is just this kind of sweet, like, I think he's singing about being a detective.
Oh.
But it's got this like ding, 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 like intro. It's just absolutely beautiful.
I know. I wish we could hear it.
I'll put it in the playlist, but it's really, really good. And if you like sort of like, it's really ahead of its time. If you like indie music now, like from like this generation to an extent, then you might like that, because that's kind of the blueprint for a lot of it. And if you like punk music, there's some punk stuff in there. There's just a lot of life in there.
There's a lot to discover. There's a lot to find. I'm up for finding it.
Do it.
Write in, everyone. Write in about your
Jesus,
thoughts.
man. Like, let's.
What's wrong with
do your
writing
fourth?
Fourth, Queen is Dead. Smiths. I had to mention the Smiths because, as I'm sure anyone who looked at me would probably know, I'm a big fan of the Smiths.
What does that even mean?
I feel like there are some people you walk around and you're like, I bet they like the Smiths.
Yeah, wankers.
Yeah, and I think I give off that vibe, and I don't care. I like the Smiths. I like the Queen is Dead. I think it was a difficult one. I was choosing between that or Meat is Murder, or maybe even like just some of the like I probably could have gone with Rank. Like so much of it I just really, really love. And live albums, we can talk about live albums for a bit. We won't talk about Queen is Dead. People like it. It's a good album, so I'm safe. I'm safe. Again, I'm not concerned about obscurity. I'm just concerned about people shouting at me about making the wrong call.
Yeah.
But am I? Not really, maybe. I like it. Queen is Dead is a great album, start to finish. It was so interesting reading Morrissey's autobiography, called Autobiography, and Johnny Marr, look at that face. Yeah. You look revolted.
That must be terrible.
And it's take it or leave it. It's like Trump. It's not like Trump at all. Johnny Marr set the boy free, and the way they both talk about that album, like, it's very clear that Johnny Marr does a lot of the legwork, and like he was like on loads of coke and like doing all this stuff in order to try and get this album created and together, and it's fantastic. It's a really good album.
So is that like his album?
It's his, it's primarily him. And sitting in the studio.
Meat is Murder is Morrissey's.
Well, like they're collaborative, both of them are collaborative, but in terms of who was coming around them and working on it, like they were in this cottage in the middle of nowhere, and it was primarily Marr staying up till like 5 a.m, and they would come in and like do all the bits and pieces to keep the track together. Right. But he was worked very hard.
What's on it apart from Queen is Dead?
Big Mouth Strikes Again.
Okay.
Loads of great tracks. My favourite.
What's
your favourite? Frank. Oh, okay, right. So I'm trying to get the order in here, right? You're calling.
I thought you just didn't know.
I know some of them. I know some of them. Do you own this?
We've got it on vinyl, but it's Steph's.
We never played it.
Yeah, we will have at some. I'm sure Steph will have at some point, but Meat is Murder is better.
It's better.
Must be better because it's amazing.
It's really good. It's very. So that was my choice. My choice between those two probably, or maybe Rank. But I chose Queen's Dead 'cause it's a safer bet. like Frankie Mr. Shankly, right?
Mm-hmm.
You talk about the band and their relationship with Rough Trade. Like, where do you go? You go to Frankie Mr. Shankly. Apparently, what's his face, Jeff, had shown Morrissey some of his poetry, and so the line like "your poetry is bloody awful" is exactly like from that. Just like such a thing to like say, like, I'm gonna make a song and then you're gonna promote that song. Cemetery Gates, Boy with a Thorn in His Side, again about his sort of relationship with the music industry and the fact that they were this album made it like number 2. It was in number 2 for like weeks and weeks, but it was never got any radio time. And
right.
The idea that the Smiths was some sort of, they were rejected by mainstream. Blah blah blah. Some girls are bigger than others. That's probably the weakest of the album. Had a good. It sounds great. Again, like I don't have the words that you have. It sounds great. I like the way it sounds. But Ma would write the song and he'd make all this stuff, and then he would do the words. Come out with the words. Ma put the song.
You would do the words.
He would do all the words. He was the word one.
This is the quote of the podcast.
He was the wordy one. So like apparently what happened was, Ma produced the song, gave him it through the door, and then Morrissey came back with a song, and Some Girls Are Bigger Than Others. The theme is basically some girls' mothers are bigger than other girls' mothers, like all this. It's not very clear what the song's about or why it's on the album, and Ma was a bit like, that was not what I intended for that. That was odd. There's Light That Never Goes Out. Oh god.
Oh my god.
No.
That's us. We're deleted.
We're deleted. Yeah. I was trying to get onto something, but I couldn't get on there. Vicar and Two. Look, there is just a good album, right? It's just a good. Every song's really strong, and it's one that I listened to all the way through, and just a big fan of the Smiths, and I thought I would give. They need some showing. If the Beatles are going to get a showing, the Smiths bloody well better.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I think I don't know. I haven't got.
But
I haven't. I'm trying to. What?
What even was that? Was that music? Oh right, I thought
that was my
music.
face. That was my face making that noise. Is that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Am I allowed to make a face?
I was just confused.
Just confused. I can't rationalise and I can't talk about it in the same way that you do, because I'd say, oh yeah, it sounds good. It's like one of those ones that and when I was discovering albums as a teenager, Smiths I just listened to sort of on repeat. Yeah. I'd like skip school, sit in the park, smoke and listen to the Smiths like that. It's like, who are you? Like, who are you now?
My God.
Right, it was not much fun really, actually. No. Like should have gone to school. Should have gone to school and learnt my maths.
You're fine, look at you now.
What's your 5th one? Here I am, talking about it in a weird way.
The Strokes, Room on Fire. I had to put a Strokes big in there somewhere. So this 2003, but it follows Is This It?
Yeah.
2001. So these 2 albums basically...
With the bum on it.
No.
It's got a bum on it, hasn't it?
Well, it's kind of...
It's a bum.
It's got something else as well. But then they changed that.
Oh, did they change that?
Because my vinyls, it's like the second one.
Okay,
carry on.
I'm
sick of talking about my vinyls.
I like hearing about your vinyls.
It follows Is This It? So the Strokes like had this like rocket to stardom basically. Like them and a couple of other bands basically kick-started the whole indie rock scene of like the early 2000s, late 90s. So they toured for 2 years, then went straight in and recorded Room on Fire straight after Is This It? Is This It? If you asked me like 5 years ago, it probably would have been on this. But I think Room on Fire's a lot more mature sounding than Is This It? Is This It? It's got it's just like an indie rock album. It's an amazing album. It's it's almost perfect, but yeah, I think just as I've grown up, I would rather listen to Room on Fire. It's just it's a little bit more interesting. Still sounds to me, I said this to someone in work, still sounds like the future of like rock.
Right.
It's just got the guitar tone throughout it. It's just really, really interesting, and the way the songs are constructed are just really. There's a song called Automatic Stop on it that's like everything's offbeat on it. It's like it's just really, really interesting to listen to. It's probably my favourite song on the album. There's only one real negative for it on the album for me. It's Between Love and Hate, and it's got really just like shit lyrics. Like it's like he's singing a bit like high school and stuff like that. But apart
when
from
you're
that,
in high school,
that's the thing. Like I'm sure,
relatable.
it's like absolutely. But as like someone that's almost 30, it's quite like. But the chorus is great, but the verse lyrics are a bit like.
I don't know whether Julian would be very interesting to talk to though.
I would love to meet him so much. Yeah,
I feel like with songs like that, I do think like, what do you actually think about?
Well, I think his lyrics are very. He's trying to relate to like his teenage self and stuff like that, and trying to like regress to being younger. But as he's got older and tried to do more interesting, like developed lyrics, it's gone worse. Do you know what I mean? I'd say this is the last like. The third album's great. First Impressions of Earth is great, and like on from that you've got Angles and then Come Down Machine. They're still good, but this is like.
I did listen to that album. Must confess.
Come Down Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd say First Impressions of Earth is like the beginning of the end for like they kind of lose after this album what like made them. It's just like they're kind of like a garage band.
Yeah.
And they kind of start to lose it after this album, but all words and music are written by Julian Casablancas, and that's like I would love to see a making of, which they tried to do with Angles, like a making of when Julian, they were basically in two sides of America.
And he was doing everything on one
side. No. They would record the music, then they'd send it over to him, and he'd do the lyrics. Okay. And that's when Nick Valencia, the guitarist, started to write stuff. So maybe that's why that album started to go off the rails slightly. But I would love to see like a making of like Is This It or Room on Fire, where he had like total
dominion. He's got his hand in his fist.
But you know what I mean? Because I just, how do you, as I've seen him try to play guitar, and he's okay, like he can kind of like play a tune, but and the guitar parts are so intricate that I just wonder, was he like, and this is where I want you to go, do, you know, like I like.
How do you articulate
exactly to these two? Albert Hammond Jr. and Nick Valencia, and like Nikolai Freiture, I think is his name, the bass player is really good at it as well, and Fabrizio, I can't say his surname, on drums as well, but because they're all really like great, so I just wonder how he was like articulating to be like, oh, this is the part where you need to go do, you know, like I wonder that. So, but that is
that. But you chat to him rather than to them.
Yeah, I think he's. But again, he'd be super awkward, and
I don't think it'd be much fun.
I'd just be like, I like your music, man. Good on you. You made some good music.
Yeah, Casablancas. That's quite a surname.
Julian Casablancas. And my child, Julian Kavanagh. Not that I already have one.
Is this the announcement?
But when I do have one, that's where
Julian.
That's where it came from. And also, obviously, John Lennon called his first son Julian. It's a nice tie-in, but Julian.
Nice tie-in to my child's name.
That'll be it.
Right on your. What are we on now?
That's it.
This is the 5th.
You do it.
Ah, fuck. I've got.
You need to pick one.
I need to pick.
We've got to see Booksmart.
We've got to see Booksmart. It's rather important. I'd rather do that than do his podcast.
Oh
God. I've done a different class. How about London Calling?
Mm-hmm.
Or Electric Warrior? Or Excitable Boy? Or the Prince Charming Adamant? Actually, no. That came down later on the list.
Yeah.
I think that's again. As a teenager, it's an album that I discovered and listened to and was fascinated by. I was in Camden. I don't know if the club's still about anymore. Like the horse stables, and it's filled like fucking, you know, wall to ceiling, wall to walls with these pictures of Adamant dressed in different things. And I was in there as a teenager, just being like, who is this guy? And like you're listening to something. None of his music is played in that. It's a nightclub, right? They're not going to play Adamant. But I was he's dressed as a knight there. He's a fucking highwayman over there. I was fascinated, curious, and I was talking to someone behind the bar.
And they were like, Adamant,
look him up, and love him. Prince Charming, great song. Stand Deliver, great song.
Yeah. Kings
of Wild Frontier would have been the other choice, but I went safe again. I don't like his sort of into the 2000s when he sort of became this sort of tried to do a modern I'm a solo sexy man.
Yeah. Did he do that?
Into that? Yeah,
that's weird.
He just launched himself as Adamant, like it was Adam and the Ants. Adam and the Ants are a great band, and I think apparently. Because it was sort of a Beatles thing,
oh yeah, Adam and Ants, just like the Beatles.
As in like the and the Ants.
Oh right, okay.
As insectoid, and his I think Adamant. This is all again could be wrong. Mm-hmm. Adamant's mum cleaned Paul McCartney's house, so like Adamant and Paul McCartney met. I think this is like part of the mythos. I really like his he's come back as sort of Adamant, but he's brought back the character of. The Blue Black Hussar. It's just characters. A lot of David Bowie influence there, I suppose. Again, sort of he's embodying a person much rather than being like, here's my honest self. Because he had a lot of like struggle.
What, with drugs?
Yeah, well, no, not big drugs, person, but like manic depression.
Oh,
and all this business.
That's worse.
Worse. I don't know. I've never had either, so I couldn't tell you. I couldn't make a decision on that.
Never had drugs.
Never touched a drug.
That's a lie.
I don't even know what drugs are.
Yeah, your mum listens. That's enough.
It's a Smith's quote. Yeah, Adamant. I will say that. I have a t-shirt. I can't not put that on the list. Mm-hmm. I have a t-shirt. I wear it. I love it. I love him. Come on the show, Adam. Talk about your feelings.
I saw a video of him when he was like playing in an Oxfam shop and he had like a rant.
Yeah, like he's manic.
It was like a meltdown.
Yeah, like he was like
top 10 meltdowns.
Throwing bricks through windows in Camden. Like he was just like properly off from one. But that's because we're not looking after our celebrities. We should look after them.
They can look after themselves.
Check on them. Like, hey, you're right. But big fan of Adamant, and that's why Prince Charming's on there. It's also had a great cover.
What one is it?
Prince Charming's the cover is him just in his highway garb, posed in front of a yellow background.
I've probably know it.
You've seen
probably
it.
seen it.
You've definitely seen it. Should we round off on
I
albums?
think that'll wrap it up. Yeah, I think we'll come back to this
That's a
in
topic,
100
yeah.
episodes.
And I'm gonna have like fucking track listings, who produced it, what they were eating.
I had to produce most of mine.
Yeah, good for you. I feel like I wish I had that. I wish I had that preparation. I kind of like the freeform.
You have time.
Have you got any honourable mentions?
No, I think I'm just going to save them.
Who are you listening to right now?
Who am I listening to right now? Well, I'm listening to the Inside Llewyn Davis soundtrack.
Yeah.
I listened to Lewis Capaldi's new album.
What do you reckon?
It's okay. It's got one feel to it, sad.
Yeah.
But I love it's hard not to like him because he's so likable and all his social media stuff's pretty funny for the most of it. So it's hard to be like, because the reviews were quite harsh. They were like, yeah, this guy only has like, he's a one-trick pony. He can write a sad song. So
he needs to break up with someone every 2 minutes.
Well, that's the thing. Like that's what happens to these artists that are like, they have a first great album because they come from a poor area or they have a really bad breakup or something like that. And it's like, what are you going to do next? What's your debut? What's the sophomore album? Is that the second one?
Yeah.
What's like your second album going to be about? If you've got no experience. Jake Bugg is a bad example of that.
Yeah.
First one is all very, I went to a house party and someone got stabbed in front of me and I took an ecstasy tablet.
A tablet. Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
Drug chat.
That's fair. I think that's let's not talk about drugs.
But then his second album is all
never
like,
seen a drug.
Yeah. But caffeine's a drug.
Caffeine is not a drug.
But and then the second album, it's all just like, it's just like crap. It's just like generic sort of, what is this about?
Yeah,
Nothing.
well, it all got put into car adverts, didn't it? Like so much of like that album was like, now I'm gonna sell Green King beer with it. Like fucking hell, what? Jake,
good on him.
Jake, round off, come back to us.
No, good. Like, if you can just, if I wrote one, like Lewis Capaldi could literally probably just live off this album for the rest of his life.
I don't know. I haven't.
If he wanted to,
he might have expensive habits. He might have a fancy lady somewhere.
Well, I think that's the point.
For which to break up with.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but anyway,
I'm listening to Igor, Tyler the Creator. There you go. I'll say that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm into it. I really like it. It's cool. Little Sims, Grey Area. I'm also listening to that.
Brilliant.
It's cool. Listen to it.
I've got no opinion.
Lewis Capaldi, come on the show.
No. I don't think we could keep up with him.
He's too
quick-witted.
Yeah, you're right.
I think we'd just be like,
Yeah, you're right. Actually, scratch that. You're a rescinded invite.
No, I mean, if you want to, if this somehow gets to you,
it won't.
We should at him on Twitter.
I'll do that right now.
One of we're going to Florida later this year, and we watch vlogs.
You do, yeah.
Like it's so
a vlog.
So it's people just walking about the park, like being like, "Oh, look at that big roller coaster!" But we fucking love them.
Good,
because it gets you hyped. And
because they're going to Florida.
Yeah, I added someone that does vlogs the other day. So like our Twitter is just like we non-existent. Like fucking, we've posted nothing, and then all of a sudden I just added someone to be like, love your vlogs.
Yeah, good. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure how
they didn't do anything back.
We're working it out slowly. Any hints would be appreciated.
Someone wants to just run our Twitter for us. That would be amazing.
Stop advertising that job. You stop selling my job out from
social media manager.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm yawning.
We're not making any money. Let's round off. Let's be done.
Okay.
Look smart. Let's go.
Let's do Jake next week.
Please, Jake.
No, it's not his fault. It's just the shifts were all over the place.
Yeah. Please, Jake.
Okay, have some more.
Have some more.
Oliver Twist.
Come over. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Let's do it here.
Yes, Jake can sit right there. He's a skinny man.
I'll just put another chair in. It'd be fine.
No, you can sit right there.
No.
You can slot between us. But yeah, I just want.
What a horrible sound.
I just want to say again.
Slot. Ugh.
Thank you very much to Curtis for coming on last week, because we had. I mean, I was out my depth. I was totally out for my depth. I think you can hear that from listening to the podcast.
I feel bad about that.
No, don't. But because this week I've been all over it. But I've been back on my game. But yeah, thank you so much, Curtis, because we really enjoyed it, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, Curtis, I've just met you, but it was good.
Yeah, you two got on really well.
Like most of our interaction encountered on the internet.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be super awkward.
Yeah, I think alcohol helps.
But you had one beer.
It helps.
Oh dear Lord.
It slightens the wheels.
You're a lush.
Loosens the wheels. Social lubricant. Greases the wheels.
And we will hopefully have Jake on this week at some point, and then that will be episode 18. I don't know what our topic's going to be.
Yeah, Jake's got to come up with something, I think.
Unless you want to do you want to do X-Men? A whole episode on X-Men?
Yeah, if you want. I don't know. Write in.
Need to do Godzilla as well.
That'd be good.
So much out. Anyway, this is all crap. So, we will see you next week.
Utter shit.
Thank you very much for listening. All our episodes are available on Spotify and YouTube. We're almost hitting 20 subscribers.
Follow us on Twitter @6out.
Email us at something.
There's
I'll
an
put it in
email.
the description. Yeah, and we'll put a playlist for all the songs
Yeah.
from the albums.
What are your favourite albums?
Yeah, tell us, Gavin. Tell us.
Tell us in person if you want, but it'd be nicer to do it on Twitter.
Or comment.
Or comment.
Yeah, okay. Right. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Bye now.